going off the Cuomo video that I just made, I think that TV media owes Americans. I think they owe our children, our daughters, an apology. That in fact MSNBC would showcase victims, or so-called victim class, the victim class, Harvey Weinstein victim class. They would show women that have been so-called allegedly victimized by Harvey Weinstein. That I said this before, that they were propositioned to do sexual favors to get parts in Hollywood movies, and they were shown on MSNBC to be victims. So I got a question for you. Why, in fact, if a woman was propositioned for sex to get a Hollywood part, a Hollywood role, why, in fact, would they be victims if, in fact, they got the Hollywood role, but did not go to the proper authorities in an abuse of power? Why would we lift them up as victims? Why? Probably because they, if they would have went deeper into it, know that they were the ones that would have gotten blackballed from Hollywood. And if that is the case, can we have if we would have had them come out, then in fact, could we not change Hollywood so people wouldn't get molested and be threatened to get blackballed because of their politics, Tim Allen, or Corey Helm, or whoever getting molested, for them to be fearful to not come forward because it would end their careers. Those women that should have complained and went to the press, they should have complained as soon as they knew about it, to do the right thing, to protect others, up and coming others in Hollywood. Now, MSNBC lifted them up as victims, that in fact, but they got the benefit of getting that role. And then MSNBC lifts up a porn star. And lift up a porn star because, in fact, she had sex with a 60 or 70-year-old billionaire, old wrinkly guy. She indeed had sex, and then the billionaire, allegedly or whatever, and allegedly the perp trader, the guy that had sex, an old guy with a porn star, paid her money, hush money, right? But we portray her as a victim, right? And what does that do to our young daughters? And why I gave the eye is because if you're an old 70-year-old billionaire or a 60-year-old billionaire, it's obvious that you might use your money or be tempted to use your money for sex with a hot woman. The temptation is strong in that area. That's why I roll my eyes. Not that that's good, I approve it, but in fact, not many billionaires resist that temptation. But what are we teaching our young daughters from MSNBC's courageous campaign to show Hollywood actors that they were victimized for getting roles, for having to do something to get a role? And how are we teaching our daughters that indeed a porn star that had sex with a billionaire, we lift her up in the news as a hero and brave, because she can take down the other person in politics. What are we teaching our young daughters? What we are teaching our young daughters is, yes, have sex with powerful men. Have sex with rich men. And use that as a weapon to garner wealth and fame. I do demand that MSNBC and CNN and ABC, if indeed ABC, I want them to come out with an apology to our daughters, to act like that is a victim, to in fact go after a billionaire old man to have sex with him, to get hush money, and then to come out against them to take them down in politics. That is not a victim. That's not heroic. That is evil. And we should not aspire our young daughters in America to do that, thinking that's going to be their meal ticket.